Cons don't fool us because we're stupid. They fool us because we're human. And this might be the world's greatest con.
I mean, I guess it's been, what, 7.5, 8 months? This is like the moment of surrender. This is that moment where you go from totally in control, ooh, plug that in, to totally out of it.
How did you keep this a secret?
I'm bad at keeping secrets, and it was under threat of death. Most importantly, I mean, that's the nice thing about, oh dear. Okay, here you go. I could say this much. This has been, oh, there we go, without doubt, the richest, most detailed story. I don't know what it's like to be a novelist like you, but I know that I told a pretty good story, and I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever done, because that would be disrespectful to this thing, but I feel pretty good about it.
We've talked about the story before, though.
Yeah, but not like this.
Okay.
I mean, this is the story. Okay, hold on. Let me see how you get this.
Also, I appreciate the pageantry of the reel-to-reel. Where did you even get this?
I had to, Craigslist, Doug's list.
Doug's list.
I had to explain to the guy, I was like, look, we need to record it. There needs to be, it belongs in a museum, is pretty much what I said. There we go.
And he just said, yeah, whatever.
He was like, whatever.
$300.
$300, that's fine, kid. And then we listened to Bonnie Raitt.
Did you really?
Actually, did he
have Raycons?
He actually.
Oh, that was Melissa Etheridge.
He actually said, well, don't you want to know for sure that it works? And I was like, sure. He was like, well, what do you want me to record? I was like, I don't know. What do you got? He was like, how about the Beatles? I was like, great. So he proved that it worked by playing Her Majesty. And so I got to listen to Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Do. Okay, hold on. I think I got it. Right.
That looks right.
Right.
I mean, that looks like I've seen it in the movies.
Okay, hold on. And then power.
Ooh.
Right. Okay, so you're going to have to hold down the record button.
Okay.
Get this part going. Hold down the record button, and you're going to move it past play into record. You ready?
Count me in.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is World's Greatest Con. I'm Brian Brushwood. I think I was 20 years old when this happened, and it was outside of a Home Depot parking lot. It was a white van, pulls up, dude jumps out in a vague uniform, not really a uniform, but the kind of jumpsuit that anyone from an exterminator to a Ghostbuster would wear. Spun this tale about how they had these studio monitors, high-end monitors that were supposed to go to a local strip club.
I told you about this.
I did know the strip club, so I knew that part wasn't a lie. And it seemed like it wasn't a lie that they were fancy monitors. I mean, they looked like big speakers. Dude even showed me a magazine article, pointed to a price that said $2,000 per unit. Told me a story about how they were supposed to be 4 ordered, but he had 6 instead, and the rest were going to be, shipped back. And I thought to myself, there is no way any of this is true. These are stolen speakers. And in that moment, I had already begun to rationalize. I was already thinking about sweet class warfare while getting ahead myself. Within 15 minutes, we both agreed on $300 for the pair of them. I went to the ATM with these assholes. I withdrew the money, gave them $300, and thanked them, and then turned to my friend and mouthed the words, "Oh my God," because I had just stuck it to the man. I had just bought stolen studio monitors. And I was so freaking stoked. Brought them home, turned it up very loud.
It's actually 9 Inch Nails I was playing.
So, yeah,
very impressed with myself.
Yes.
Three weeks later, the girl I'm dating, I meet her brother. He's a student at law school. And I'm a bit shy about it, but I bring up the fact that I bought some speakers. And I get to the part where I mention the white van, And he nods and grins and says, "Oh, wow, so you saw one of those guys." And I was like, "What? One of those guys? What are you talking about?" He's like, yeah, those guys. They sell the garbage speakers. They're garbage, but they make you think they're stolen. And that's when I realized I'd gotten got. I'd let the fantasy overtake the reality. The reality was I was giddy at the prospect of sticking one to the man. The most beautiful thing about a con is how little the con man needs to do in the moment. He just has to set up the story, because the person who's going to obliterate his morals for the fantasy, that's me. And I won't find out for 3 weeks until I meet my girlfriend's brother. There's a common phrase in my line of work. You can't con an honest John. It's because the honest John is somebody in that situation wouldn't even consider letting his morals be compromised. Wouldn't even occur to him. He would walk right past it. How many of us are truly honest all of the time? Most of the effort of the con man goes into that first impression, the tableau. Sometimes it's a crisis or a fantasy. Whatever it is, it's personally tailored to you, the mark. I've spent a lifetime studying these schemes, which really means I've spent a lifetime studying desires, those very urges that make us human. You know, when I'm hanging out, sometimes a few beers in, somebody will ask me, what is the world's greatest con? It's a good question. I don't know if this is it, but here's a pretty good place to start. It's 1943. Allied forces are about to land their first boots on mainland Europe. If you do it successfully, you could defeat the Nazis. Botch it, and you allow the fascist war machine to keep on rolling. In a smoke-filled London basement sits a gang of con men. Now, they don't call themselves con men, since they're in the British military and all, war. They're agents of deception, which, to be honest, is probably a better name than con men anyway. I'd like to be an agent of deception. Anyway, they got a plan, and if they pull this off, it will change the war. The British know that the Nazi expansion into the Eastern Front with Russia isn't going well. That means at the highest ranks of the German government, people need good news to bring the boss. That means the boss is eager to hear good news. So what if somebody fulfilled that fantasy, wrote that good news for them, put it in their hands in a way that makes them feel lucky to have it? Can't be a regular leak or a fake double agent. That's regular espionage. No one gets excited when the normal happens. That would just fall flat. Remember what we said about the tableau, all the effort into the first impression. This kind of good news that moves armies? No. This has to be an act of God, the Lord himself, smiling on the fatherland. It needs to fall out of the sky. Literally. An officer of the Royal Marines is going to crash his plane in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Spain. His corpse is going to wash ashore. In his pockets will be a heartbreaking tale of young love, evidence of a vibrant life snuffed out too soon, and secret documents revealing the plans of the Allied forces. Those documents will be irresistible to the Nazi intelligence that happens to live on that shore. He'd be greatly rewarded for finding it. In fact, each rung of the ladder that passes it up the chain will be rewarded for finding it. The officer will be completely fictitious. The body, a corpse discarded by society. The documents, an intentional lie to devastate the German efforts. All of it to fool the ultimate mark. Someone who is most certainly not an honest John. Adolf Hitler. Cons don't fool us because we're stupid. They fool us because we're human. And this might be the world's greatest con.
Oh my God, dude!
That's a hook.
I'm so stoked. Okay, all right. The full first episode is available right now to anybody who signs up on the email list. Here's the thing with podcasts. It matters how many people subscribe on day one, which is why we're not even revealing what day it's going to come out. But you can listen to the whole first episode. There's going to be a day very, very soon. Maybe has already been determined, not sure, but we're going to release both episodes 1 and 2. It's 4 episodes. It might be the best ghost story I've ever told, full stop, bar none. I'm so stoked.
Having heard a good chunk of it, it's brilliant.
My favorite part is that moment when people realize, oh wait, you're doing that story. But man, it sounds like there's an awful lot of personal storytelling in there. And yes, there's a lot of oversharing. It's unreal what a journey this has been, and it's only the beginning. The podcast is called World's Greatest Con. Keep an eye out for it. Most importantly, sign up on that email list to listen to the whole first episode right this minute. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked.
You're giving off some energy.
A little bit.
You're kind of vibrating.
A little bit.
It's exciting.
Part of me just wants to turn this back on and just let you keep on listening. There you go. There we go.
This is really a story about fooling Hitler, right? What if I told you that the man who's going to fool Hitler is none other than...
The name's Bond.
Right?
James Bond.
James freaking Bond is going to defeat Hitler. That's what's going to happen in this story.
Offer and link in the description below.
And in that moment, I had already begun to rationalize. I was already thinking about sweet class warfare while getting ahead myself. Within 15 minutes, we both agreed on $300 for the pair of them,